Okay, guys, we should be live. We should be good to go. Hopefully people are logging in here. There we go. Let's give people time to log in here. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Alexa. Is it Taya? Angel, Cerna, Joseph, Max, Munoz, good morning, Veronica, good morning. Let's go ahead and give everyone a couple more minutes to check in here, and then I'll have a couple updates. We'll get into our very brief lecture and get out of here. Today's only going to be about 20 minutes. Again, working out the kinks. Good morning, Tanya. Working out the kinks. Probably going to change a couple things on the syllabus, and I'll let you know about that in a little bit when we get more people on here. But I'm going to step away for about 30 seconds. Okay. Don't freak out. We still have, we're still going to have class. Good morning, Carissa. Yeah, I'll be right back. Stay. All right, I'm back. Okay. Angel, Mr. Garcia, Ellie, Mr. Fernandez, Abdiel, Karen, Vidal. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Iayala. Okay. We're getting most people signed in here. I think it'd be a good idea if you open up your Canvas. Colin, good morning. Yeah, go ahead and open up your Canvas if possible. Hopefully, it's kind of like bringing a notebook and something to write with and something to write on the class. So ideally, you're in I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I've got people talking over here. Hopefully, you're able to log in and have that stuff with you, right? It's kind of like bringing your books, your notebook to class. Thank you, Abdiel. My pronunciation was spot on. I probably wouldn't have been able to do that in class because sometimes I get a little nervous pronouncing names in front of people. Samuel, good morning. Michael Sparks, good morning. Good. Look, we're getting most people. We're about 2/3 of the way there. I think we have roughly 30 people. And I'll have some comments about that in a minute. So again, pull up your Canvas, go to your class, go ahead and go to the first module there. You'll see HED 100 Introduction. Go ahead and give that a click, and then I'm trying to find your class right now. Fall HED 100 20491 Monday, Wednesday, 9:30. Okay. Good morning, everyone checking in. Okay. We're close. We're getting close. Let's give everyone a couple more minutes to get checked in. And we're gonna go over a couple things, mainly attendance. I'm gonna make some attendance adjustments to this class. I'm getting emails every excuse under the sun as to why people can't be here online during class time. And, I don't know, that just doesn't make much sense to me. Even if worst case scenario, you had your phone, you were streaming or picking up this live stream with your phone, you had your headset in and doing what you have to do, you could at least be listening and be checked in. I understand sometimes there's problems with internet, there's problems with connectivity, problems with your devices. I would encourage you not to wait on getting those things fixed or serviced, or just making a change in plans, right? Rolling blackouts, whatever it is, knowing that there's going to be people home, you don't have an area to focus on, all of that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. If you got to dip over to, Starbucks and sit outside front, get that free Wi-Fi, then do it, right? There's hotspots all over the city that you can pick up on. Okay, we're 6 minutes into this. We got 27 people here. Let's just get rolling. Week number 1, just working out the kinks, making sure that the style works for me, for you, that everything's kind of going relatively according to plan. It's not going to be perfect. And I understand that. For the most part, it's been a pretty solid effort getting online and being here and being present. A couple of things. Number 1, do not email me asking me to send you the video. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to make some adjustments to the syllabus. And by the weekend, or by the end of the weekend, I'm going to be traveling this weekend, so I'll try to do it before I leave. But definitely by Sunday, you're going to get an email update from me, and you're going to see the syllabus updated. I think how I'm going to do this is when you log in the morning and you connect to the live stream lecture, you are going to, like many of you have already done, say good morning, and I will have a roll sheet in front of me. I will acknowledge that you're here. And then at the end of the lecture, I will email the people who are present the question. And that will allow you to go and answer it. And that's what gives you credit for being here and being in the lecture, right? I think that's how I'm going to have this play out, but I will make some adjustments. So stay tuned to your email, stay tuned to Canvas, make sure that you're checking in. And there will be some, good morning, Cecilia. There'll be some changes coming. Okay. Not big changes, but just some small tweaks, right? Andrew, good morning. Okay. With that said, hopefully you have your Canvas module opened up. Let's go to where it says umbrella philosophies. Okay. And you're going to see 4 bullet points there, that indicate what I'm going to talk about, just probably for like the next 5 minutes. Why do I have the umbrella philosophies? First and foremost, there needs to be a unifying theme, right? There needs to be a common thread, and there is a common thread. There's multiple common threads throughout the semester, because a lot of times when you talk about physical wellness, you can't ignore mental wellness, or its connection to mental wellness, or spiritual wellness and its connection to intellectual wellness, and overall physiological wellness, and understanding the physiological person, and understanding the mental person, or the emotional person. There's some things that kind of help guide us through the semester and understanding information, and more importantly, taking the little tidbits that I'm going to give you every week and incorporating them, making sense of them, and getting something out of the class, getting something that will like tangibly help you be a little bit more healthier, or even a lot more healthier, which would be great. The first umbrella philosophy that kind of helps guide our course. Again, it's an umbrella philosophy. In other words, everything that we talk about is going to kind of fit underneath these ideas in some way, shape, or form. Good morning, Myra. Number 1, the world is under no obligation to make sense to you. Does anyone know who said that? If you do, kudos to you. You're listening to the right people. Anyways, it's a pretty famous person who said the world is under no obligation to make sense to you. He's actually a physicist. And this person recognizes that there's a lot more that we don't know than we do. It's that simple. What do I mean by that? I've been at conferences, health conferences, where there's a cardiologist who has literally scraped clean arteries of people for 40 years. He's done the most cardiac surgery out of any doctor in the country, arguing tooth and nail with one of the most studied and respected nutritionists in the world. And they're sitting there arguing in front of a room of people whether or not red meat causes cardiovascular disease. In other words, whether or not red meat builds up the cholesterol, the LDL, the bad cholesterol in your bloodstream. And I'm sitting here going, how is this possible? I thought this was a done deal. I thought we kind of knew bacon and sausage and animal products weren't the best for you. They're not terrible, but they weren't the best. And they definitely have, they definitely raise cholesterol levels. And there's a huge body of science that says that it doesn't, right? Almost as big of a body of science that says it does. What the heck, right? How do we make sense out of this? And the issue is you don't. What the real thing to focus is, the important thing to focus on is there's no one Band-Aid diet, pill, exercise regimen that's good for all of you, right? It just doesn't work that way. Some of you should probably not eat meat. There's probably some people out there, although I think it's a small percentage. There's definitely people that should lower their sugar intake. There's definitely people that should exercise more. I think that's probably all of us. But one of the reasons why the world doesn't make sense is because of number two, is because of conflicting information. I mean, you see this all the time, depending on what news outlet you're reading. You can get a totally different view of the same exact situation, right? So conflicting information, you're going to get a lot of it. You're going to get some of it in this class, right? There's going to be some people, oh, is milk good for me? Dude, I don't know. Is milk good for you? You tell me. I don't know. It's good for me. I like it. But I also know that there's some people who've gotten off dairy completely and they feel 100% better. Some digestion problems went away. Their throat cleared up. They don't have headaches. Don't ask me. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that one of the ways that we navigate through a world not making sense to us, one of the ways we navigate through a whole bunch of information and a lot of it being conflicting is by number three, right? Focusing on the how, focusing on not on the what, not what someone said, not what necessarily what's happening. Your question should shift to, well, wait a minute. I know what that person said, but how did they come to that opinion, right? Or better yet, why are they saying that? How did we come to this conflict? How did we do this and that, right? That's the deeper question, right? How do I lose weight? How do I gain weight? How do I go about just feeling better on a daily basis and not really having to worry about what I eat or how much I exercise or things of that nature? Those are the better questions, right? So focus on the how, not the what. And then lastly, nature versus nurture. Nature versus nurture is a concept that is used by anyone who's studying the human condition. So a psychologist, a biologist, physiologist, so on and so forth. And the concept is really an acknowledgement towards there's probably two major components to our overall health and well-being. One of them being a genetic component, which is nature, right? In other words, I have a detached earlobe. You have an attached earlobe. I'm a bald guy, right? A pelon. You have long hair. You're black. he's white, she's Asian, whatever it is. We have that genetic component. Some of those genetic components include things like weight. They include a genetic propensity for cardiovascular disease, a genetic propensity for breast cancer. I'm sorry, ladies, if you have breast cancer in your mom and both your grandmas and some of your aunts, guess what's coming down the pike for you? Most likely breast cancer. Genetics play a strong role in addiction, in overall health. However, more and more scientists are beginning to understand and acknowledge that nurture plays a much more greater role than nature, right? And so what's nurture? Nurture, some people say, well, it's the way you're raised. Nah, not really. It's not really the way you're raised. It's the environment, right? It's the way the environment interacts with you and your overall health. Some of that you can control. Some of that you cannot control. Good morning, Samantha Aguilera. I saw you a couple minutes ago. Check in. Environmental components or nurture components include a lot of aspects of your life, like the food you eat, how often you floss your teeth, how much water you get, how much sunshine you get, how much pollution you inhale, how many pesticides you ingest. It includes a lot of things that you can control and a lot of things that you can't control. But by and large, most of nurture, most of the environment you can control. You can limit your sun exposure or increase your sun exposure. You can limit your exercise or increase your exercise. You can limit certain food intakes and water intake. And we're finding out the number one killer in America is cardiovascular disease. This is directly related to diet and exercise. So by and large, most biologists, nutritionists, physiologists, even psychologists will acknowledge that nurture, the environment, plays a much larger role than nature. In other words, and it's nice to know that your life isn't already set in stone. Your life of health, right? From now, where you guys are roughly around 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, to 60, 70, 80 years old is not predetermined. It's actually malleable. You can move it and bend it. You can change it. You can control it for the most part. So anyways, those are the four things, again, that are going to kind of guide this class. The world's under no obligation to make sense to you. There's a ton of conflicting information. To get through those first two things, focus on how, right? Focus on how and why. Don't focus on the what. Don't focus on the fact that you're 30 pounds overweight. Focus on how you get 25 pounds overweight, right? How you get 29 pounds overweight, right? How you make progress. And then nature versus nurture. There is a genetic predisposition. Think of it this way, right? And I'll try to use a crude drawing, and hopefully you guys can see this. I'm not necessarily prepared to do this right now because I don't have a pen in front of me, but okay. So let's say this is can you see that? There's my bowl. Okay. And that arrow underneath that water level there indicates your genetic predisposition. Some of you have a very low genetic predisposition for cancer. Some of you have a higher genetic predisposition for cancer. And depending on what you put in that bowl, right? Depending on whatever you put in that bowl. And by putting in that bowl, I mean your food, your exercise, your mental acumen, right? Your emotional control. Depending on what you put in that bowl, that will either suppress that genetic predisposition for cancer or mental illness or whatever it is, or it'll add to it. And it'll add to the point till it spills over. and then it spills over into cardiovascular disease or mental illness or diabetes or whatever it is, right? So nature versus nurture. Probably not the only class you're going to hear that concept in. Okay. I'm pretty much done, right? Not bad, dude. 20 minutes. You're welcome. Couple things. Expect an email. And I'll probably put it in Canvas as well, because apparently some of you don't check your email. I don't know. Expect changes or at least some tweaks regarding attendance and the lecture question that will be due Monday, right? So when we resume Monday morning on the, what is that, the 24th, I believe, right? Today's the 19th. Yeah, so in 5 days, it'll be the 24th. So on the 24th at 9:30, you're going to log in. You're going to watch me talk to you. You'll ask some questions. Hopefully we interact a little bit more. I'll ask you some questions, hopefully to kind of get that facilitated a little bit more. And then the people who are present, I'll take roll. I'll send you the question. You'll have a certain time to answer that question via Canvas. Then next Wednesday, a week from today, we don't do any live stream at all. You just have your assignment. Okay, pretty simple. Like I said, the first unit isn't necessarily overwhelming. The first unit is overall wellness. The second unit will be sexual health. The third unit will be fitness. And the fourth unit will be major killers, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, stuff like that. I would say the biggest unit is fitness. We'll probably have the most work and the longest lectures during that module. Okay. Does anyone have a question? Anyone? Yes, no, maybe so. No? Okay. If anything crosses your mind over the next couple of days, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions. But if not, anticipate Monday seeing me here. Anticipate Monday being on time and being ready to not only listen to the lecture, but get your question, answer it in Canvas, be ready to knock that out. And then next Wednesday, all you have to do is an assignment, and we are through the second week of school. Okay. No more questions. No assignments until next week. Correcto. No assignments until next week. You have nothing. So here, that's a good question, Angel. So let's do this. Hopefully you have Canvas opened up. If you go to the module, right? So click on modules. Veronica, are you saying thank you because you're checking out, or are you saying thank you because we don't have any assignments? Go down to where it says overall wellness. Will we be doing any at-home exercises? All right, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute, everyone. Okay. So look at next week, right? Go to your overall wellness module. Week 2, dimensions of wellness. That's just a page. If you click on that, that has a graphic. That's just a graphic for you to look at before the lecture starts, or even during the lecture. Just gives you something to have, right? I'll answer your question in a minute, Alexa. I see that. That's a good question. And then underneath dimensions of wellness, we have 824 lecture question, right? And then week 2, assignment 1, that's the one that's due the 26th, which is the Wednesday. So next week, we have dimensions of wellness, lecture question, week 2, assignment 1, done deal. Okay. Are we going to need a textbook? Alexa, no. And you're welcome. And Veronica, you're welcome. Ellie, will we be doing any at-home exercises? Yeah, you're doing that now. There'll be nothing in class. So next week, you'll listen to a lecture via the stream. you'll answer a question on Monday, and then Wednesday you'll have an assignment, and that's all we're doing next week, right? Pretty easy, straightforward, driving it home, wham, bam, get her done, okay? Any more questions? Going once, going twice. See you Monday.